right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to today's conversion call. For those of you who don't know me, my name is John Marrone. I am the CINC Conversion Specialist. Today, we are going to dive into a little bit more of the meat and potatoes, because what I mean by that is a three whys deep for every what. You know, the opening line we talked about the last few calls, the closing we've talked about, but I really want to dive into three whys for every what, because that is the game changer. As well as we will be talking about the close as well, because I want to make sure you guys create a confidence to close that makes the technique work. So before I do, you guys always know I gotta give you a mindset shift, right? I gotta give you a mindset shift before we do the skill set shift. So let's talk about the mindset shift. And I just posted on my Instagram and on my Facebook about this. It's all about your words. You know, a lot of you guys want to do things differently. A lot of you guys want to start doing things differently. But what you're not doing is thinking differently before you start to do differently. You want to take this massive action, which is awesome. You want to start and maybe make $100 a day, which is great. But none of that will sustain. It will not be a consistency until you change the law of thought. So the law of thought becomes before the law of action. And most of the times we have to really audit the words we say, right? We got to audit the words that we say. And so I'm going to give you a few words that I want you to audit to make sure you are not saying. And I was just on the call earlier, and this girl is saying, I'm a slow learner. And the way our minds work is, if you say you are a slow learner, our minds will find justification to prove that they're a slow learner, right? If you say, oh, man, I'm just not good on the phones, your mind will find reasoning on why you're not good on the phones versus reasons why you need to get on the phone. So what we say out loud and in our heads becomes our reality, right? The way we perceive, the way we receive. So I'm going to give you a few words to change, and then I'm going to go ahead and kind of ask you guys to audit yourselves and curious if you know any words you're saying that you need to stop saying. So the first word is should, right? Stop shoulding all over yourself. Right? I should make dials. I should go ahead and do some more social media posts. I should. When you could take a should and turn it into must, what it tells your mind is that it becomes a priority. And when it becomes a priority with something that needs to be a priority, you execute on it at a much higher clip, right? It's not just I must, right? I must put myself out there and do a video. I must make these dials. So let's change every should to a must. The other one is very simple, but we all say it still. I don't personally. I used to say it all the time now. Is can't, right? Oh, I can't make these calls right now. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. One word in our house that is not allowed is the word can't. So take every can't and put it to can, because those who said that they can and those who say that they can't are what? Are both usually right. Those who say they can and those who say they can't are both usually right. It's a disempowering word that needs to be eliminated from your vocabulary. All right, the third, not word, but phrase is it is what it is. Oh, no one picked up today. It is what it is. Oh, I didn't close that deal. It is what it is. What it is telling you, it's saying, yes, I failed, right? Yes, a bad outcome has happened, but it has no A, ownership, and B, plan to not let it happen again. So it is what it is needs to be replaced with it is what I make it. And what do I make it? For instance, I didn't set any appointments today. Normally, you would say it is what it is. Now you're going to say, but it is what I make it. What do I make of it? That I did not have the right energy. I did not role play 15 minutes before. Right? I did not go in for the close. Because when you say it is what I make of it, and then you ask, what do I make of it? It allows you the opportunity for the two things you need: ownership and then a plan. Ownership and then a plan. Saying it is what it is does not create ownership nor a plan. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? You got to change your words to change your world. It is so important for you to understand, for you to recognize that sometimes your inaction is due to the words that you're saying. Your inaction is due to the words that you're saying. We got to get really good at this. And why is it so important even for today's call? Because you guys sometimes don't know what you're even saying to your clients, right? Or to your prospects. So we want to get really good at understanding what we're saying and if it is empowering us. Nima, yes, no, it is just, it's all audio. There's no video. Now I will be showing you a visual here in a second though. Okay. All right. So right now, can you identify, I'm just curious, can you identify a word that you've been saying that you know is not empowering you, or a phrase? Right, or a phrase. No, you cannot unmute yourself. Once we do role playing, I can unmute people, but until then, you want to be able to. So what are words you're saying that you know are not empowering you, not benefiting you at all? That's okay. I'll do it tomorrow. Right? I don't have time. Now write these words down on a piece of paper in front of you, whatever it is. Oh, I love that. Death and life are the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. Yes, Michelle. What else? It's a shit show. Yep. I don't want to do it. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, and we, you know what we're going to do next time we have this? I'm going to give you guys a few tools and tips in order to create massively good energy. I've been on back-to-back calls since 7 o'clock, basically 8 o'clock this morning. So it's literally back to back to back. And there's little things I do to keep my energy going. I'll be doing this till 6:30 tonight. All right. So now that you wrote those things down, I want you to ask yourself, what can you replace it with? What can you because it's not like that thought is going to be not in your head, right? Not until you get rid of it and create a new thought. You can't rewire your neural pathway until you replace it with something. So if you say, no worries, replace it with my pleasure, right? Or no problem, my pleasure. You know, I can't make these calls. I can make these calls. The other girl earlier was saying, you know, I'm a slow learner. Instead of I'm a slow learner, repeating that, because your mind's going to find a way to be a slow learner, saying, I am somebody who is learning. Very simple. Very simple. And also a little side note, I see a lot of people putting on here, like, I'll do it tomorrow, right? It can wait. We tend, oh, this is huge. Please write this down. Our minds are, it's not that we tend, this is actually true. So write this down. Our minds heighten, right? Our minds heighten what could possibly go wrong, right? It heightens that. And it discounts not taking action. It heightens what could possibly go wrong and discounts not taking action. So anybody that's in here talking about I could do it tomorrow, or you're fearful of something, a lot of times that's what our mind's doing. The other thing is, if you have a problem procrastinating, you have to get down to the root. And the root is normally the story that you're giving the task. The story you're giving the task is causing the procrastination. It's not the task itself. It's the story that you give the task that causes the procrastination, not the task itself. Does that make sense, guys? Are you with me? Yes or yes? So I just want to make sure that hit home with you guys, because until we change the way we think, whatever we do on the outside as far as action goes, you're not going to sustain it. It's just not going to happen. You know, it's just not going to happen. I remember I was running this morning. I just didn't want to do it. There's not one part of me that wanted to run this morning. That's actually most days, not going to lie. Most days I don't want to run. But I didn't really want to run, right? But what did I say? Instead of saying I don't want to run, because if I said that over and over again, my mind would find reasons not to run. My knee, it was a little wet outside. It was cold. I have so much stuff I got to get done. Your mind will find excuses for it. Instead of I don't want to run, it's I am excited to run this mile. I'm excited to run this mile. I don't get tired. I'm a machine. Let's go. You got to have those talks with yourself. I can remember when I played football, I would always be looking in the mirror right before game day or right before game time. and I wore number 22. And I'd sit there and I'd say, nobody is better than 22. Nobody is stronger than 22. Nobody is as much heart as 22. You cannot be stopped, 22. You cannot be stopped. And that transitioned to when I got on the field, right? I told my mind and my subconscious mind how to act when I'm out there. And I had to start that rewiring. I hope it does. Look at today is 22. See that? My favorite number. It's my favorite number. All right. So I just want to make sure they hit home with you guys. And as well, like if you guys want to get more stuff on the mindset and skill set side, don't forget, just follow me on Instagram or my podcast. And obviously you guys will get that weekly. We're here every other week, which is great. But if you want more content, just go to @real John Marrone, @real John Marrone. Because I always get asked this. I'll just put it. I'm going to put it into the chat. Always get asked this. So there's that. And then my podcast is Power of Progression. I've had some phenomenal guests on. I do a lot of solo shows as well. So I want to keep it going with you guys, right? Like, I don't want it to just be every other Monday. So we do these calls with CINC every single other Monday. And then we keep that momentum of tools and strategies and systems to create a high performance lifestyle. And then I see you guys in 2 weeks again, and you guys are implementing, you guys are grabbing that momentum, compound effect. All right. So I put it into the chat. If you guys want to go ahead and go there, perfect. If not, all good. But that's my podcast and that's my Instagram. So I'm going to pull up my screen here while you guys give me a second, because I want to go over some nuts and bolts, some meat and potatoes. So hold on. I'm going to pull up my slides. It's taking a minute. I'm going to go through some stuff now as well. I want to see some objections you guys are getting. So I'm going to go from the top as I open this. Yes. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So here's one. Just send me listings and I'll let you know if I want to see them. So Amy asked that. And Amy, that's something that a lot of people get. I'm going to give you an objection handler for that. So they say, you know what? Can you just send me a bunch of listings? And if I see something I like, I'll let you know. You could go a few ways with it. One is I love using this analogy. No, I completely can. But hey, let me ask you something, right? God forbid you had to go to court for some crazy offense. Let's just call it murder, right? This is a weird question, but follow me along here, Amy. This is what I'm telling the client. If you had to go to court for something like that, would you want to meet your lawyer day of or prior? Oh, I want to meet him prior. Okay, another crazy question. Stay with me. Why prior? Why do you want to meet your lawyer prior? Well, John, because I want to make sure that he has got the best plan, not to not to allow me to go to jail. Absolutely. So, Amy, let me ask you: is this the biggest transaction of your life? For sure. So we understand it is, and we can send you listings all day. But the reality of the situation is this. We need to know exactly what you're looking for, why you're looking for it, so we could find extended opportunities for you that maybe aren't even on the market yet. So this way you don't waste any time just scrolling through useless emails. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. All right, perfect. So next step is this, very quick, very simple. We'll just jump on a quick 15-minute call. We'll show you that strategy so that this way you can go ahead and make sure when the time is right, you know that you got the right person with the right strategy. How does that sound? Amy, I wanted to make sure that you heard that. So let me know if you did. Anybody else too. It's super important when someone says, send me listings, to use the analogy about court. Now, like I did before, you don't have to just go right into it. Have fun with it. This is a weird question I'm going to ask you, but would you want to meet them day of or prior? Right? Don't feel weird about saying. You're never going to say the wrong thing to the right client. That's my belief. You're never going to say the wrong thing to the right client. All right, let's see. I'm trying to find some other objections you guys put in. Biggest obstacle script when you get them on the phone, older leads. So Timothy, these scripts that we go over here are this is going to be for any lead, right? So the scripts we give you are for any lead that you have not spoken to or barely spoke to, right? Maybe you spoke to them 2 years ago, but you haven't spoke to them in a while. These are for leads that no one has talked to, what we're going to go over today, versus just a follow-up that you've had contact with. But we could definitely dive into that soon. Let's see. properties in our area don't match what they have up north, and they don't like anything they see. So Patricia, if that's the case, that's great. That's turning lemons into lemonade, right? So it's like, hey, I completely get it, and that's why I have a few additional questions so that I could ask you. So this way we can go ahead and make sure that we're not wasting your time, and we have exactly what you're looking for in the solution that you're trying to solve, right? Whether it's lifestyle, bigger home, whatever that might be. So a few questions I have is a 3 or 4 bedroom. 3. Interesting. Why 3 bedroom? Which I'm going to dive into that script here in a second. Okay. How to schedule someone who's looking to buy in 3, 6, 12 months. Anytime, whether it's 3 months or 3 years, I'm always saying, perfect. That's exactly when people start looking. So tell me, what are you looking for? 3 or 4 bedroom? 4 bedrooms. Interesting. Okay. So while I put this in here, why 4 bedrooms? Why is that important to you? Right. So whether it's 3, 6, 12, doesn't make a difference. It's always the right time. And we want to meet them. And I think Bobby had asked a question in here about like getting them into the buyer's consultation. This is for everybody. If you use this line, it will work more often than not. And the line is this. Hey, look, I'm not going to ask you to go buy a home tomorrow. Here's simply what I just want to make sure that you got the right person with the right strategy for the right time. Bobby, does that make sense? Absolutely. Okay, perfect. And you segue right into the close from there. Bobby, let me know if that helps. Let's see. I already have an agent. So this is a very simple one. If somebody has an agent, you say, no, I completely get it. Hey, Livia, let me ask you this. If I were to find you a home that checked off all your boxes, but it wasn't on the market yet, do you want me to send that on over to you? Olivia's going to say, yeah, sure, of course. Perfect. I don't want to send you a bunch of useless emails. I know we get enough of those. So tell me, what are those boxes that you are trying to check off? And then they dive into it. They start speaking 3 bedroom, 2 bath. Then you stay there and say 3 bedrooms. Interesting. Okay, why 3 bedrooms? And you go into the why, which I'll pull up the script here in a second. So I'm going to go down and make sure you guys are with me on these. Give me a second. Perfect. Yeah, guys, you're only supposed to see the screen right now. I was pulling up the script, but I don't want to pull it up while I was going over some of these objections because I know if you're anything like me, if you're trying to read what's on the screen, even though that's not supposed to be, aligned with what I'm saying, we're all going to get confused. Excellent analogy. Perfect. Thanks for letting me know. Do you have a written copy of these scripts? Yes. We'll be sending these out, I believe. Kayla will be able to give them to you. So if you just email training@cincpro.com, we'll be able to give you don't get every little thing on a script because there's a rhyme and a reason for everything. And you got to come to conversion day to truly understand that so that you could get the most out of it. But we will be giving you guys enough for you guys to go in and start dialing at a good clip here. All right. So just browsing. All right, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Now you guys should see this coming up. Get this out of here. Get that out of here. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. It didn't pop up. So hold on. Here we go. All right. Can you guys see this? If you can, just 1 or 2 people put yes. Can you see this? Can you see this? All right. Awesome. Boom, boom, bada bing, bada boom. Perfect. All right, guys. So opening line, I'll go over it very fast again because some of you guys are still having the issue of just browsing. That is not an issue when you use this script. That is the number 1 thing that we get. Most people are like, John, my biggest objection is just browsing. That is not an objection if you use this script. I'll say it again. It is not an objection when you use this script because it's actually a great entry part to go ahead and actually build rapport. Right? It's training at cincpro.com. Training at cincpro.com. Also, you can ask your success partner. Everybody should have one. If not, the person who pays for your CINC system has one. They'll be able to get it for you. Then if you want to message me on IG, I should be able to get it for you there as well. But just definitely go training at cincpro.com. All right, so here's the opening line. We'll dive into it as quick. So I know we hit on this a lot, and I know for those new people in here, I don't want to disregard that for you, though. So you say, hey, this is John with the home search site. I know you're looking over in Dallas at some homes. Just curious, are you looking to make a move in the next 3 to 6 months or just browsing? I'm going to say it exactly how you should say it as far as level of tonality, pauses, elongated words. Then you put your own flavor on it, right? So you call. You say, hey, this is John with the home search site. I know you're looking over in Dallas at some homes. I'm just curious, you looking to make a move in the next few months, or are you just browsing? A few things I did there. I said just browsing in a very non-intimidating, lower tonality. Do it one more time for you guys. Hey, this is John with the home search site. I know you're looking over in Dallas at some homes. Just curious, you looking to make a move in the next few months, or are you just browsing? Right? We no, not sooner. We don't want to say sooner. I see Mark asked that. Good question, but we don't want to say sooner. We want to give them the excuse that they're going to give us. Think about this. If you knew your partner's lines, wouldn't you be able to overcome the objection, right? Think about your wife or your husband. If you knew exactly what they're going to say, which sometimes we do, we could usually create a better dialogue, right? Setting them up for the conversation to go in our favor. Okay, so I say just browsing purposefully. They say just browsing back. Now, what that does to human behavior and psychology is this. When they feel like they're not being sold, their wall of fear comes down. So when their wall of fear comes down, which is the just browsing, yeah, I'm just browsing. Now we come in and we say, perfect. That's exactly what the site is for. So while I have you, what's prompting you to browse? Now, that's a different question than what are you browsing for? What are you browsing for and what's prompting you to browse? Two separate questions. What's prompting you to browse is a why question wrapped in a what format, right? What are you browsing for is a what question, which we do not want to ask. What are you browsing for? I don't know, man. When I see it, I'll let you know. Right now, what's prompting you to browse? That is a reason, right? Looking, we have a new job, so we're relocating. We're having another baby. We need a bigger house. We're downsizing. What's prompting you to browse is different than what are you browsing for. Are you guys with me on that? And somebody said, how do you handle people that hang up on you? I'll talk about how to handle it in a second. First, I call them right back. But your energy, guys, has to be at a certain level when you're making these dials. Like you create out of your state, right? You create out of your state. So make sure your energy is high. One thing you don't want to do is, hey, this is John with the home search site. I know you're looking over in Dallas at some homes. Just curious, looking to make a move in the next few months, or are you just browsing? Who wants to work with that person? Nobody. Energy wins. Energy is contagious. Energy creates engagement. So it's, hey, this is John with the home search site. I know you're looking over in Dallas at some homes. Just curious, looking to make a move in the next few months, or are you just browsing? I'm just browsing. Perfect. Exactly what the site is for. So, hey, while I have you, what's prompting you to browse? So if you guys heard me, I'm throwing in, right? Those little phrases, those little interjections are very purposeful. Very purposeful. It makes it sound real, right? It's not coming off robotic. And by the way, I can say this with my eyes closed because I practice it so much. We just had a conversion day. Let me tell you guys some stats really quick. We just had a conversion day in Phoenix. We had 60 people there. It was CINC U, and then the last day's conversion day. 60 people there. A bunch of people had to leave because of the flights and everything, because of the snowstorms, where there shouldn't have been snowstorms. And we actually had about 16 people dialing. So 16 people calling at 2:00 in the afternoon. Set 16 appointments, conversion rate over 33%, and made over $150,000 in commissions. So out of 16 people dialing, 16 appointments set, actually it might have been a few more that we missed, but at least 16 appointments set, over 30% conversion rate, over $150,000 in commissions. And a lot of it had to do is because they went to conversion day, but we were role playing, right? Over and over again. We role played 4 times throughout the day. So what I'm giving you guys is great, but if you're not role playing it daily, you're not going to be able to maximize it. And that could be a total of $20,000 difference in your bank account, $100,000 difference, $200,000. And I promise you, it will accumulate fast if you are not mastering your craft. Okay, so here is the 3 whys deep I wanted to go into. Okay, 3 whys for every what? Pain or pleasure. It's the only reason why people make decisions. Pain or pleasure is the only reason why people make decisions. So if we know that, we understand that, we agreed to that. Here's my question. How deep are you going on these calls? Are you a glorified Applebee's server where you're going, how many bedroom? 3. Perfect. How many bath? 2. Okay. What location? Dallas. Awesome. Or are you saying, hey, okay, so how many bedrooms? 3. Interesting. Why 3 bedrooms? And then are you, here's a big one, write this down. Are you listening to respond? Or are you listening to understand? Are you listening to respond or are you listening to understand? Because if you're listening to understand, when they tell you the gold that's going to be in that question of, okay, why 3 bedrooms? You're going to be able to build a conversation off of it. So they say 3 bedrooms. You say, interesting. Why 3 bedrooms? They tell you, let's just say, oh, we're about to have another kid and we're in a 2-bedroom right now. So with 2 other kids, it's going to be cramped. I do not go into the next what question. After they tell me that, I extract some information off of what they said. I build a conversation. And then I come back in and ask another why question. Right? So maybe something like this. That's amazing. You have another baby on the way. When is the baby due? Oh, March. Wow, that's exciting. By the way, just got time frame, right? That's exciting. So you said you had 2 other kids, right? Yeah. All right. Boys or girls? Girls. They're all girls. Amazing. How old are they? 3 and 7. Then you bring in some relatability. Man, I got 1 and she's going to be 4. I cannot imagine having 3 girls. So good luck to you, brother. And tell me what I need to know. So when we have more, I'm very well prepared. They laugh, have a good time. All right, perfect. So what would that mean for you to be able to have the extra bedrooms? I go right back into the bedrooms. I'm not going to the next place. I call it staying in the pocket, right? Staying in the pocket. Stay in the pocket, stay in the pocket. There may be, if there's no why question there, think about football. So in football, if you're in the pocket, right, you're stepping up in a pocket, you're maneuvering a pocket. And what that means for anybody that's not a fan of football is that you're in a certain area, right? You're not running to the sidelines looking to throw the ball. You're in the area and you're looking downfield, looking for an opportunity, right? And if you see opportunity, boom, you throw it. And when I say looking for an opportunity, it's why questions. Is there a pain or pleasure here? Is there a pain or pleasure? If there's not, let's just say they already have 3 bedrooms. So 3 bedrooms, not that deep of pain or pleasure. I then run out of the pocket. And out of the pocket is, okay, what location? Then I stay in that pocket, right? So I'm always trying to find 3 whys for every what. Where's the pain? Where's the pleasure? Because that's how I close. Where's the pain? Where's the pleasure? Because that's how I close. Now, if they're not opening up, which some people still won't open up, it's simple, guys. Just A-B question them, okay? A-B question. Don't get caught up. Don't get held up. A-B question. So if they're not answering, just say, hey, okay, so let me ask you, is it 3 or 4 bedrooms? Right? Is it 3 or 4 bedrooms? And then they say, probably 4. Interesting. So why 4 bedrooms? So if they don't open up, A-B question them. Right? A-B question them. And other things is phrases to get them to open up. So tell me about your current situation is a great question to ask. That's when we got to just shh and let them talk, right? Got to give us 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason. I sometimes need to know that for myself, but that's the truth, right? So when you say, tell me about your current situation, they will open up. The floodgates will be there, but you must be listening to what? Understand, not listening to respond. Another great question. What else? Interesting. Okay. So what else? And I'm not saying, okay, interesting. What else? There's tonality, right? There's emphasis on certain words or pauses. That's what makes any person who's really good at sales, really good at sales. It's the tonality. It's the fluctuation. It's the pauses. right? It's the elongated words. It's the tonality shifts up and down and empathy, right? Another one is, why is that important to you? So we won't say 4 bedrooms. Okay, why is that important to you? Say 4 bedrooms. Interesting. Okay, so why is that important to you? Right? Interesting. So why is that important to you? And get really good at it. Now put your own flavor on it. You don't, doesn't need to be like mine, but you want to make sure that you're using your tonality. Now, tonality, let's talk about that for a second. Then there's a question by Diamond, which I'll answer in a second. Tonality. I'm sitting down right now. I'm being completely transparent. I'm sitting down. My tonality is pretty good, but that's only because I've practiced this thing for many, many years. If you really want to have massively, massively good tonality, you must, not should, we said it before, right? Stop shitting all over yourself. You must stand up. You have to be grounded. Your posture must be up. You want to increase your tonality because you know tonality will increase your sales. Stand up. Don't stand up when someone picks up. Stand up the entire time. Because what happens is when you call somebody, you're sitting down, and then boom, Diamond picks up the phone. And then you're like, okay, I stand up when people pick it up. That shift of energy of when you're trying to stand up, you may drop the ball there. Most of the time, you cannot have the right energy while trying to move your body up. Just go ahead and do this opening line. So stay standing. The only reason why I'm sitting right now is because I stood for the last 4 hours, and I'm standing for another 2 hours after this. So I'm just giving my legs a little bit of a break. But I understand tonality and how to use it, even through sitting down, only because of practice. And not practice once a week, twice a week, not 3 times a week. Practice every day. All right, so Diamond said, what do you mean by A-B? Can you elaborate? So A-B is basically either or, Diamond. So it's an either or question, right? So maybe you have 2 main areas, right? So you're looking at Fort Worth or Dallas? What are you thinking? 3 or 4 bedrooms, right? And don't ABC them. Sometimes we get stuck in ABC. And okay, you want 3, 4, or 5 bedrooms? Just AB, this or that, not this, that, or this. Okay, does that help, Diamond? Good question, by the way. Let's see. Another one says, how can I get these scripts? Yeah, so if you just go ahead and you could on Instagram, you can message me at Real John Marrone and message me your email address. Just straight up message me your email address, and I'll get it over to our department to send to you. Or if you email training at cincpro.com. All right. So this is the nuts and bolts. This is the meat and potatoes. This is what makes you stand out, what makes you different. Any questions on this, put it into the chat. The training at CINC doesn't have all the scripts. Yes, Diamond, it doesn't have all the scripts. It gives you a little more than a 1-pager, I think, but it gives you the essentials. And here's the reason why, guys. Just to give you these scripts without the training, the 7-hour conversion training, you're going to do well. Like, it's not like you're not going to do well. But to get to a conversion day, it will take it to the next level. Has anybody in here been to a conversion day? And this is only going to the panelists, so I can only see that. And you can just say yes if you have. You don't have to say no. This is only going to the panelists. I'm just curious. So yeah, Carrie, Megan, my man Bobby. All right. So if you guys have not been to a conversion day, I suggest, I know Bobby's brought his entire team a few times, right? Like you and Gil. So there's a bunch of people that have been in here multiple times. And the reason why it's so important is because, I was a conversion day champ in North Carolina. Woo, woo, Carrie. Here's the importance, guys. It can't stop now. Like, I can give you these scripts, but the reality of the situation is you're not going to be able to maximize it unless you come to the event to its highest level. Most people can't. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to put that on you, but most people don't take the time to role play. So even if I gave you all the scripts, are you dedicated to role play 20 minutes a day? Every day, 20 minutes a day. Are you dedicated? Right? Maybe you are. Maybe you are. And if that's the case, like, let's have a conversation, because I want you to win, but to give you all these scripts, sometimes what you really need is you need somebody to tell you the power, the meaning, the why behind what we're doing, because in these conversion days, which I'm not trying to get into a conversion day pitch right now, but we talk about human behavior. We talk about the science and the arts to sales. We talk about human psychology on why these scripts work, because we don't just talk about the scripting side of things. The reason why I start every call with mindset shifts is because that's where it begins, guys. That's where it begins. Someone says, what was the email? training@cincpro.com. Diamond, can we role play alone? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I would just go ahead and close your eyes, right? Once you get this thing done, close your eyes and role play. Have this conversation back and forth. But yes, role play alone. Or if you have a husband or a wife or a friend, role play with them. Remember, the first step to success is get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? First step to success, get comfortable being uncomfortable. So you got to go ahead and take that step. Are the conversion day events virtual? No, they're not. But here, I'm going to let everybody know this, okay? If you want a conversion day for your office, we do offer it. We do offer conversion days just for your office, in-house or virtual. So maybe you're in Canada and you can't leave, right? Unfortunately, Kathy. Maybe you're somewhere else where it's just like, yo, we got 50 people. Well, our broker's probably not going to send 50 people just because of that amount of people going to one location. It's hard to pay for. But we do offer a virtual conversion day and an in-person conversion day. If you are interested in that, please send me a message on Instagram, or you can send a message to john.marrone@cincpro.com. I'll put it in here just so you guys have it. Hold on. John.marrone. Obviously, let it connect you guys on social. It's way easier for me. But yeah, reach out to me. All right, someone said record yourself, then listen to yourself and see if you'd be interested. Really helps. I love that, Simon. Yeah, it's, you know, what that comes down to is that's reflection, right? So I love the fact of recording yourself, 100%. 100%. But there's somebody you know that will be on the other end. There will be somebody, and they can give you the feedback from their angle. All right, so let's take some more questions. We've got about 15 minutes or so. Are there safety measures in place for a pandemic? Absolutely. So we're actually not, we used to sell out about 120, 150 people. Now, depending on the space, it's under 60 for most. We actually just got a really big space in Phoenix, though. Like we could have a lot more people there because it's so big, but everybody's spaced out, hand sanitizers. Also, we have a role play game that we play 3 times, and everybody gets their own dice to play and everything else. So yes, there are safety measures. How long is it? It is an entire day with me. It's actually 3 days. 2 days are how to use the buttons. 1 day is all conversion. If you don't need to learn how to use the buttons, you've done that, you've been here for a while, just message me and we can get you a code just for day 3, which is conversion. Sebastian says, I was in Phoenix at CINC event. The area was huge. So if Sebastian, were you there this past week? What is conversion day all about? It's all about conversion. Oh no, it was in fall. Sebastian, come to our new spot now. Just give you a heads up. Our new spot is in the Buttes. So we have the actual hotel space. It's insane. It's really nice too. So here's CINC really quick. And this is not a pitch, guys. I don't want to stay here with this, but CINC is how to learn the buttons, right? So how to learn how to maximize what's inside of it, right? P1s, P2s, you know, some things you may or may not know, how to maximize it. Day 3 is conversion, 7 days with me, where we break down high performance habits aligned with understanding this script, how to maximize the script. We role play 3 times throughout the day. We have live role playing. We also call your leads live, 1 hour of dialing. So message me and I'll send you that. What's the code for conversion day? Send me a message. I'll have to get that to you. All right. So if you are interested in conversion day or the live one where I'll come to your office, or virtual where we'll just do it virtually, message me and we'll chat. What questions do we have? Let's go. So we got 10 or 15 minutes left. What's something that's holding you back, guys? Let's talk about what's holding you back. What challenges are you having or your team's having? And let's dive deep into that. And if I didn't answer your question already, please just go ahead and put it in there just so I make sure I hit everybody's question. I'm going to stop sharing this for a second. All right. I have actually one that was way earlier. Josephine said, someone who gives one-word answers with no personality. I break it down two ways, Josephine. This is actually really good for everybody to hear. So somebody that gives one-word answers, I throw out the stat, which is this. Hey, Josephine, look, I just want to let you guys let you know something. 86% of home buyers don't think that their agent understands the problem, right? So 86% of home buyers, they don't think their agent understands their problem. And to be honest, that's a big deal for us because we know it's the biggest transaction of somebody's life and a lot could happen. So our process is to dive deeper into everybody's specific situation so we can create a masterful plan and a solution particular to that person, not just a one size fits all. And that's why I'm asking you those questions. Does that make sense? Right? Does that make sense? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. All right, perfect. So let's dive a little bit deeper. And if they're like, nope, doesn't make sense. Nope, I don't want to do it. You scream next and you go on to the next one. My assistant handles most of my calls, calling us at phone appointments. Is there an issue with my assistant calling? I would say, is she really good or is he really good? Right? The vast majority of the time, she doesn't reach anyone. When she does, she pre-qualifies the lead for me before the setting appointment. So what does pre-qualifying mean? There's a lot to dive into there. You shouldn't be pre-qualifying the lead of like, sending them to a lender or anything first. Like you want to meet with them. You should meet with them with the lender next to you, though. That's just killing two birds with one stone. It's way more beneficial, more impactful, and it collapses the time from start to end. Yeah, so Diamond, by the way, we could do virtual. We could do the virtual one if you want. Just message me. Let's see. In our office, we have dialers whose sole purpose is to book appointments for agents. Where we have trouble is when ISA books an appointment and the client flakes on the agent. Here's why. Ooh, I love this one. I can get real with you. Ivan, I think your name is. So if you are having somebody or even you are setting appointments and the people keep flaking, two things happen. One, you haven't built real value. And real value is when you solve their problem. You cannot solve their real problem unless you ask enough deep questions. All right? So you have not taken the time to either understand the script, maybe you just got it, or really role play it to get good at asking better questions. And this is the problem that a lot of people have. They're like, John, I'm setting all these appointments, but they're not showing. And it doesn't matter, right? And here's the thing. If you're setting a lot of appointments and they're not showing, that's almost worse than anything because now the person's going to feel bad, right? And they're not going to want to talk to you at all. So this is what I would do. You got to go 3 whys deep for every what. Build massive value. Then number 2 is this. Dive into the close, right, with massive confidence. So you got to have confidence with the close, right? Conviction with the close. And number 3, last but not least, how are you tying a bow on it? Are you asking if they're using a calendar invite? Getting them to raise their hand and saying, yes, I do. Yes, please send one to me. Yes, I'll see it. Right? Are you sending a handwritten note in between the appointment from when you talk to them to the appointment to solidify it a little more? Let's actually go over that really quick, guys, because this is good. So in order to butt up a conversation, to really have them show, this is how you increase the show rate. First, build more value. The way you build more value is ask better questions, stay in the pocket, 3 whys for every what. Number 2 is have confidence and conviction when you close. Number 3 is, it's a little 3 or 4-fold here. 1 is ask if they are using a calendar. Don't just tell them, hey, I'm sending you a calendar invite. Ask this question. Hey, Betsy, do you use a calendar to run your day? Yeah, I actually do. All right, perfect. So do I. If it's not on there, it does not get done. So I'm going to send you a calendar invite so it goes on your calendar. Does that sound good? Yes, sounds good. Okay. So boom, they raise their hand. Hey, by the way, Betsy, what's your email address? I want to make sure I send it to the right one. Send it to Betsy@gmail.com. Perfect. So when I send this, it's going to go to that email. Can you just make sure you see it and hit yes? Yep, I'll do that. 3 levels they committed to. Okay. And the last thing on that, oh, you could send, as I said before, you could send a handwritten note in between, right? From appointment set to actually appointment met. I would send a handwritten note if it's possible of just something mentioning your guys' call, something of relevance. But the other thing is when you're calling to confirm the appointment, right? Day of or whatever the case might be, I want you to, instead of calling to confirm, it's so cool how it all pans from the beginning of the call, right? I want you to call to remind, right? Words matter. Change your words, change your world. So call to remind. So instead of calling and say, hey, this is John Niebom, just calling to confirm our appointment Tuesday at 2:00. Say, hey, this is John Niebom. I'm just giving you a call to remind you that we have an appointment at 2:00 on Tuesday. I'll see you then. All right. Does that make sense, guys? So you guys with me on how to close the appointment and tie that bow on it to help them show? Because that's super important. You know, what we don't want you to do is set a bunch of appointments and nobody shows. And that usually comes down to the two things. We haven't added enough value and we didn't go ahead and tie a bow on it. A lot of stuff has been coming in as I was going over that. So I just want to go back to it. Seller's market not willing to put in competitive offers. Yeah, so here's the thing, guys. Every market's so hot. This is just a battle that we are facing right now. Right? We could all agree to that. There's no way around it. But there is something to be said for you to be the person when the time is right. So as I talked about before, I always go back to this. When the time is right, you want to be the person. So simply use this all the time. Hey, look, I get it. That's my job, is for you not to put in like $20,000 over asking. I want to make sure it makes sense for you. But what I want to do is I want to make sure you got the right person with the right strategy for the right time and the right home. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. Because there's different levels of connection. So when I say that, I'm just trying to move. This is with every call, trying to move to the next level of connection. So what are those connection points? Level 1, you guys can write this down, levels of connection. Level 1 is email. Level 2, text. Level 3 of connection, phone call. Level 4 of connection, virtual, whether it's Zoom or FaceTime, Skype. And then level 5 is where we want to get them to, which is face-to-face. Now, I know some of you guys can't do that right now, so virtual is the top level. But if you ask yourself, how can I move this conversation to the next level of connection? You'll start asking better questions to move it into that direction. And that's the same thing. Like, you got to let them know, I don't want you paying $100,000 over asking. Like, if that's not what you want, that's not what I want. I'm here to make sure we serve you properly. But here's the thing. I want to make sure that you get the right person with the right strategy for the right time, for the right property that makes sense. Does that sound fair? Yes, it sounds fair. And I'm ending all those. If you guys hear, does that make sense? Does that sound fair? Wouldn't you agree? Use those like they're going out of style, because those are huge to create yes momentum and for them to agree to what you're saying and for you to influence them. Let's see, boom, boom. Okay. I'm just going through some questions here. Please go over how to get these leads, sign a buyer agency so you can concentrate on them without meeting them yet. So Julie, hopefully that helped. I also talk about the win strategy a lot. I'll kind of touch on that really quick. So you're going to meet with them to go over the win strategy. Okay. The win strategy. And what that is, W is, I want to figure out what you want and why you want it. Okay. The I is so we can have intentional investigation of the inventory. And then N is a negotiation strategy, because every home might be a little bit different the way we negotiate. So the reason why I want to meet with you is so we can go over that win strategy, figure out what you want, why you want it, so you can understand how we're going to intentionally investigate the inventory and things that aren't even on the market. And then what the best negotiation plan is so that we have it ready, set, and locked in to go. if you find that perfect home. How does that sound? I'm scrolling down here. Let me know if that makes sense with you guys. We got about 5 minutes left. Steve, thank you so much. So code day for conversion only is 2021 CONV. So 2021 conv. All right. So I'll say it again. So it's if you guys want to go conversion day only, you got to go to let me see if I can put this in here. Sorry. I'm going to put the actual website in there just so you guys have it. Boop. All right, then I also have another question for you guys. So stay on with me because I have another question. So if you go here and you find a date that makes sense for you, I'll put it into the chat. And then you use this code here that I cannot find. All right. Then you use this code here. You can get the discount for day 3 only. Okay, day 3 only. All right, so scrolling through the stuff over here. All right, so let's see what other questions we have. Let's see. I'm in Vegas and would like the scripts. Okay. Yes. All right. So I'm just going through some questions here. It doesn't look like we have too many left. The win strategy. Someone asked me to repeat that. Are there conversion days in Atlanta? Yes. We are sold out for March, but you'll see in there we have it about every other month. Richard, every other month in Atlanta, but we're sold out for March. We have a waiting list, I think. All right, so the win strategy, W, is figuring out what they want and why they want it. Right? Remember, this is what you're going to be going over with them. This is your buyer consultation if you don't have one, or you can implement this within the one that you have. And why people are going to want to meet with you. W is what they want and why they want it. 3 whys for every what, right? The I is so that we can create an intentional investigation of the inventory and things not on inventory, right? Now that we know what they want and why they want it, we could do better searching for them. And then N is creating a negotiation strategy. Because if you are a brand new family, maybe I would tell you, hey, our negotiation strategy is let's take a picture of you, your wife, and your newborn. Let's write a letter how you want to buy that house and put down roots in that house. Right? So that this way we can go ahead and pull on some heartstrings. So that's the big thing with negotiation. People don't think that there's actually skill to it as far as there's different things you could do for different homes and different clients, but there really is. Let's see. I don't want to pull my kids out of school, so I won't seriously look until summer. Yeah, so Sebastian, if they say they don't want to pull their kids out of school, so they won't look until summer, there's still the weekends, right? There's still nighttime, right? So are you saying that they don't want to like buy a house until, like, are you saying they don't want to look at properties because their kids are in school? Or I think what you're saying is that they don't want to buy until summer because then it'll be changing schools, right? So Sebastian, perfect. Exactly when people start looking and you dive into it. Right? Perfect. Exactly when people start looking and you dive into it. So if they say they want to wait until summer, you and I both know, and everybody on here, summer's going to come up quick, right? So that's why we got to figure out what that looks like. And hey, let me ask you this, Sebastian. If that right property does come, the right home does come on the market, and it's the ideal thing, it's everything you wanted, but it's 2 months before summer, would you be interested in taking a look at it if it was perfect? Well, yeah, absolutely. They're going to say yes, right? They will find a way if it's the most perfect home. That's where everybody on this call, we got to come in and flex a little bit of leverage and authority and just ask a better question. If they want to wait until summer, that's great. But if I ever find you the most incredible house that checked off all the boxes that created the lifestyle and solve the problems that you're trying to solve, would you at least want to look at it? Summer's around the corner anyway, especially it depends on where you're at, sooner than later. Boom. All right, perfect. So we got 2 minutes left. I want to know what hit home. So in the chat, if you guys could tell me out of the entire call today, what were some of the things that were your takeaways, right? So I'm going to see some takeaways, make sure these things are landing for you guys. So every time we get in here every other Monday, we're working on the right stuff and we're hitting the spots that we need to hit. Tonality. Yes. The WIN acronym, simplicity of scripts, standing tonality. Boom, boom. These things are flying in here. Love it. 3 whys for every what. Don't confirm appointments. Remind them. Great information. 5 levels. Someone asked what the 5 levels were. So the levels of connection: email, text, phone call, virtual, face-to-face. Jeff, my man. Look at Jeff going in there, putting it in there. Jeff, give me a little virtual fist bump, brother. Good job. Let's see. You have convinced me to practice my script. Yes. Here's the thing, guys. If you practice a script enough, you don't need the script. All you got to do is embody the message. And that's what I want you guys to understand and learn. Like, embody the message, not the script, right? Like, remember the script so you can embody the message. And it becomes really, really, really simple when you break it down. Opening line, 3 whys for every what, close. That's it. And then here's one other thing I didn't touch on. So many of us are waiting for them to finish their answer so we could ask the next question, right? Like, you're thinking about what question to ask during the person talking. But what you have to go back to words or how we use them. What you must understand is that the next question that you need to ask is unveiling itself during the current answer. The next question for you to ask is being presented in their current answer. So we have to listen to understand. Role play, values, A, B questions, not A, B, C, D, E questions. I love that, Jesse. Yes. Yes, our mind heightens what could possibly go wrong. And then it discounts inaction. Right, Rob? So our mind will heighten what could possibly go wrong during a situation, and it discounts action. Let's do it really quick. Let's think about it. You think about making phone calls. Your mind's like, oh my God, no one's going to pick up. People are going to curse me off. It's a pandemic. There's this, there's that. Your mind's playing all these scenarios, heightens it. But what it doesn't pay attention to is what happens if you don't take action. So I'm glad that you guys are here, rocked it out with me for the entire hour. If you need me, go ahead. You could email me, hit me up on social media, whatever that case is. I just want to make sure you guys stay in touch, stay engaged. We are here. We are the one place that you can come to, whatever it is that you need as far as the CINC family, and we will make sure that we get you an answer. So we appreciate everybody. Oh, one thing I didn't mention, I wanted to. We have a mastermind coming up in March. In March, we have a few seats left. If you are doing 60 transactions or more, 60 or more, please message me. I want to get you over to our mastermind. We're having one in March in Vegas. Don't miss this opportunity. Please, please, please message me on Instagram or john.marrone@cincpro.com. So message me and we'll get you all set up with a mastermind, or at least tell you a little bit more about it if you qualify. So appreciate you and thank you for joining. Thank you for being engaged. You guys are all rock stars. If I don't hear from you, if I don't see you, please, please keep crushing it. Keep creating the ultimate version of your business and just go ahead and dominate your day with the tools that we gave you. Talk to you soon, guys.